Welcome. My name is Steve Clare. I'm the Program Director for the Beyond Budgeting Roundtable of North America. I'm here in Istanbul to teach some of our forecasting training to Turkcell, and it's my pleasure to speak with you as part of the Turkcell Academy on a couple of topics I think you might find interesting. The whole topic of forecasting has come up most recently from our book, Future Ready, How to Master Business Forecasting. And in the book, we talk about a number of different ways you really ought to think about budgeting and forecasting and how you move forward. The problem we often see with budgeting is many times people approach the budgeting process almost as if there were a blank sheet of paper going on, if you will, a fresh start where everybody gets to rethink all the decisions. And the challenge with that is that's really not reality. Unless you're truly a startup company, a greenfield, if you will, where you can decide everything, a really better analogy to think about your business is much more like a ship out on the ocean. And by ship out on the ocean, what I mean is what you really are is an accumulation of thousands of the decisions you made in the past. Decisions about where you're going to locate, what products and services you're going to offer, what employees you're going to hire, what processes you're going to run, what equipment you're going to acquire. All these past decisions have created a ship that's the accumulated result of that. And so you really have created a cost structure and a capability structure. Hopefully the capability structure is the capability to generate more revenue in excess of the cost and therefore make a profit. Otherwise, you have a leaky ship that needs to be addressed very, very quickly. So when you think about budgeting and planning, think about first understanding what is your cost structure and how you want to move forward, because that's really the point that you start from. Then your plan is to figure out how to change this ship into the ship you want it to become. Now, the ship you want it to become is typically defined by your strategic plan. The strategic plan is a 3 to 5 year vision reaching out that defines what new markets you're going to move into, what revenues you're going to try to acquire, and so forth. So the strategic plan is a vision of what you want to become. And then what you have to do in terms of moving forward is the plan to say what projects and initiatives do I have to take to do that. And when you change your budget or change your forecast, your company doesn't change overnight. It doesn't change by the stroke of a pen or a different number in the computer. It changes because you did something differently to enhance your capability. Now, you can change anything about your ship. You can throw things overboard. You can add more sails. You can add more power. You can double the hull. You can literally change anything about your ship. But in doing so, you have to do it over time. Now, when we think about forecasting and converting from where you want to be to the ship you're trying to become, there's typically 3 levels of forecasting. The first level is the very, very short term. It's often called sales and operations planning or demand forecasting. Typically, it's a 30 to 90-day window about a forecast horizon in terms of what's out there. Now, the good news about that horizon is you pretty much know what you're capable of. You can't change the ship very much in 30 to 90 days. So the sales and demand planning, the sales and operations is really a matchmaking process. What demand from the customers are coming in, what production resources, what people, what services, how do I fulfill that? I match those two up and I try to optimize that match so I can fulfill as much customer demand as possible. So it's really about execution. It's really about the short term in terms of what's out there. If I reach out and think about the second planning I want to talk to you about, or forecasting, is really the strategic planning, the 5-year vision out there. Now, the good news about the 5-year vision is in 5 years, you've got enough time to really do a lot to change your ship. So the purpose really of the 5-year vision or the strategic plan forecast is really to create alternatives, to create options of what you want to come and what you want to move into. And so it's really about adaptation. How do we adapt our company from where we are today to what we need to be successful in the future? And so you've got that. Now, because it's further out, you've got a lot of choices, and you can really execute against those. But you also have a problem in that because it's further out, the environment you're actually going to have to do that in has quite a bit of time to change. So there's a great deal of uncertainty out there in the strategic plan. So you have to be very flexible when you put those plans together to kind of move forward. In between the two, the operational forecasting and the strategic planning, in the middle lies the business forecasting. And the business forecasting is typically that 12 to 18 month window when we're really trying to shape the future. We're trying to navigate from where we are to move the direction we want to become. It's really about the decision making that you have to execute today to really move things forward from where we are to what we want to do. So how do we make that and move those things forward? The timing is enough time to get stuff done, but you have to be moving to where you want to go. So think about, when you think about your forecasting, breaking it down. Am I thinking about sales and demand forecasting? Am I thinking about strategic planning? Am I thinking about business forecasting? Which of those three, how do I make them work together to turn my organization into the ship that it wants to become moving forward? Happy to provide this message for Turkcell and Digital Academy. I look forward to seeing you somewhere else. If we're in Istanbul, I'd love to join you for another one of these great coffees. I'm becoming quite fond of them. This is Steve Player signing off for Turkcell Academy.